The show is about to start with lots of stories about poo and a bit of heart. When it comes to Joanne, no, you won't find no faults, but if you mess with the bull, you might get the shouts. It's time for Mornin. It's Morning with Bill and Joe. It's time for Mornin. It's gonna be a heck of a show. It's Bill and Joe.
Hello and welcome back to Morning. I'm Joe.
Guess I'm Bill, or Baseball Bill, as I name
Oh,
him.
no.
I don't think you're going to be this upset just because I'm in a slightly more temperate area of New York. I'm in Cooperstown, 2024 induction ceremony, but Matt Welsh and Nancy Rowland here, all your old pals.
Sure. And this is like a what is it called? A repeat of last year. I feel like you just did this.
I prefer your word retreat. It was a retreat from last year. We did this.
Treat for me.
Wow. It must be really miserable in New York right now. We did this last year. This is really fun. On paper, it doesn't sound like as much. And Saturday, they have like all these other former Hall of Famers, quite literally on pickup trucks. They're being displayed like flesh and blood museum pieces. And you just sit there and get autographs and you can kind of touch them. And it's very dorky, but it's very fun.
Now, what's the ratio or percentage of like kids and adults?
There's a lot of big kids, as in 48-year-old versions of me. But it's about 50-50. It's a lot of older people. I'm worried that baseball is not rediscovering its youth talent. But it's a lot of fun. And Hall of Fame is amazing, as always. Indeed, it's more important than Matt Welsh is there right now because the Wi-Fi is so terrible here that he is using his media bona fides to go into the private library of the Hall of Fame so as to do Megyn Kelly's show with his fifth call buddies.
But did you not tell them that Mornin, Bill and Joe is just as important as Megyn Kelly and you needed to tag along for that sweet, sweet Wi-Fi? Because I don't know what's going on here.
That is plan B, but I would probably just go out onto the front garden area because apparently the little media area is very small. So it would literally, you would hear Matt talking to Megyn Kelly while doing this with you. Well, enough about my adventures. How are you doing?
I'm good. You know, working, playing. Oh, okay. I just saw a movie. I took myself to the movies and it's like a horror film called Longlegs.
Okay.
With Nicolas Cage. Okay. We have covered, you know, the incredible career of Nicolas Cage on Mornin over the years. One of the things we did was show a compilation of all the times he just screams.
Love it.
Which happens a lot, but
he doesn't just scream, for the record. Well, yeah.
He screams in this movie. He plays like a weird serial killer who's had a lot of work done. Very creepy. It was directed, I guess written and directed by oh crap, I didn't do my research. Oz something. He's the son of another like famous horror flick guy. The film was okay. As soon as, you know, I heard serial killer, I'm like, yes, I'm on board.
There she is.
But as soon as it gets into the supernatural elements, that's when you lose me. To me, the real horror and terror comes from, you know, it just being a regular person without any special powers or magic committing these crimes. Yes. So as soon as you add the supernatural element, I'm like, you lost me. And they also didn't do a great job of explaining it because I feel like with a lot of supernatural shit, you don't have to. It's a way to tie up loose ends when things don't make sense. And it's like, well, we did our job, you know?
Right. Well, they're getting a little better about this because people are so much more sequel focused these days. Back in my day, when I was a young Bill, 9 times out of 10, a bad guy in the horror movie immediately dies. They felt like that's what the audience wanted, catharsis, whatever you want to call it. But nowadays, they're smart enough to make sure that that doesn't happen or have a hint that he may have survived, to get all that sweet, sweet franchising money. Since I will definitely not be seeing Daddy Long Legs, so they did the same thing with Nicolas Cage's character.
Well, first of all, it's called Long Legs. Daddy Long Legs is actually a musical.
Wow.
But you know what? I could potentially see it happening. Only because there were moments where I was like, this is so much reminding me of Silence of the Lambs, because it's about an FBI agent trying to solve this string of like murders. And yeah, a lot, almost to the point where I was frustrated. I was like, you can't come up with your own idea. This feels so similar. But to that point, then we had Hannibal. So I could potentially see it. I Yeah, I don't know. There is a line that I don't want to give anything away, but there's a line that Nicolas Cage's character says, which, especially if we're believing in the supernatural stuff, would allow him to appear for as many films as we want. So, yeah, we'll see. But hair and makeup did an incredible job with him. He does look really freaking creepy. And just the cinematography is great. Like their director of photography, whoever was tasked with like the images and the setups of the camera, really beautiful. And it's stylized. It starts in the 70s and then the bulk of the film takes place in the 90s. And you see at the bureau, they have like a framed picture of Bill Clinton. So like you're always reminded of the time
That's
period.
right.
Cool. Yeah.
I still won't see it because I have a problem with my NGs, and I don't even like saying the title of that movie because I feel like you just did that to make fun of me.
Sure
I
did.
think, I think it's getting worse because I'm starting to hear it when I say it. So let's please move on. I'm told you did watch something that I've been watching now.
Yeah. So we were talking a little bit we just did Lauren Conlin's podcast
A lot of fun.
or her live stream.
Mm-hmm.
And she's really into true crime and just crime stuff. And so we were talking about things we were watching. And one of them is an Apple TV show called Presumed Innocent. And which I then learned it stars Jake Gyllenhaal. I then learned it was in fact a movie and a book.
Mm-hmm.
So you in fact already know how it ends. There's one episode left in this season of the series. It was just picked up for season 2.
I can't say anything to you too much. I'll be very broad and I just say that made me very angry because it seems to me that, I don't know, there's a beginning and a middle and an end to this, especially the way I don't know what they're doing with the season 2. Put it down. But,
Okay, so for people who don't know, the show is about a prosecutor, like is it a
yeah,
it's a
I think so. Yeah.
like for the state. And one of the lawyers on the team is murdered. It's a woman. And one of her coworkers, another lawyer, is then accused of murdering her and is on trial for that. So you kind of see about his family life, you learn about the relationship between the two. Do they have enough evidence? Who are these people? Who did it? I mean, that's the main question in this. And so I'll share some theories. The last episode comes out Wednesday of next week. So we'll see if I'm right. But also, if we already know there's a season 2, maybe they're not following the book or the film and they're going to stretch it out.
Which could very much be the case. And then I'm shit out of luck as far as I didn't even bother with theories. I'm just going with the regular plot line. But it'd be interesting to see what she's saying. I try to keep my expressions as non-tornado as possible.
Okay. So this is just so we can look back and see how right or wrong I am. I think we're supposed to think that Jake Gyllenhaal did it, but I'm really starting to think he didn't just because it's a more interesting story if he didn't. They're then trying to paint the picture that it's potentially the new defense or the new prosecutor who apparently this dead woman had an issue with who was on her team. This last episode ends off with the murder weapon being in his apartment, but it looks like someone planted it there. I'm not sure. Here is my theory. I believe his teenage daughter did it because the murder, you would have had to know details of a previous case that they had worked on, and the details were in the home. Like this lawyer, had all of his files at home. So I think his teenage daughter saw them. I think she knew about the affair that was going on. She was upset about it. Where at one point we're made to think it might have been the teenage son who did it because he was
Hmm.
on site passing by. I don't think it was him. We haven't really looked into the daughter, so that's why I think it's her. And women are sneaky.
Oh boy, you had me with the sneaky part. All right. Well, I will say, people, don't be too impressed if Joanne ends up being even kind of right, because it's not because she's smart. It's just because she watches a concerning amount of programming. And it's exactly like this. So she's been training for this for a time. So don't throw the smarts part up.
Well, and if I'm not watching, I'm reading. I'm like
Yeah.
reading these true crime books. So like
Yes.
the fact that this started as a book, I probably could predict it. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they decide to do. They might deviate from the story.
That's what I'm starting to wonder. I see, as I think I told you, I see certain things where I'm like, I don't think they're deviating from the format, but again, that's how they get you. Because I mean, this was a big book in the '80s, so a lot of people are going into this thinking that they know how this is going to go, and so to your end, that would certainly make them want to, do a twist. And boy, people love their twists these days.
They really do. Twists
Mm.
and turns.
Sometimes I feel like I want to hit you, and I'm usually against hitting women.
Well, thank God
I love
we
it,
got a
gas.
we have a baseball field between us.
But that's not like a country song. I love it. But yeah, and so today is, speaking of at around 6 p.m., the old fossils that our former Hall of Famers are going to be coming out. And I'm going to get my autograph. Harold Baines will be there. Look at that right there. So wish me luck.
Wow.
That's as excited as you get with true crime stuff, I'm sure.
Exciting. Um, anything else that you're like excited to do while you're there?
Well, tomorrow will be the induction ceremony, which is free to the public. It's just a gigantic field. It's like baseball, Woodstock for baseball. You got fathers and sons out there throwing the ball, and then each player comes out and they do speeches and clips and stuff like that. It's a lot when you think it would be, but that's fun. And then we go back.
How nice.
You're not getting it, are you? You don't get the overall mystique
I
of the whole thing. Oh, I mean, we have a Will Joanne saying they have a thing there where you can make your own. We think I am a Hall of Famer, but you can make your own Hall of Fame plaque if you want to read my stats that I said.
Is this what you sent me yesterday?
Yeah, no, it's not what I said yesterday. It's me on a
Oh
plaque.
God, Bill.
What? What?
William Dawes Schultz, Biggie McPenis,
Oh, that was my
Chicago.
nickname. Yeah.
Considered by many to be the happiest mascot in history and one of baseball's most beloved stars. Holder of many records, including most jumping jacks in a career and greatest number of selfies in a single season.
Very proud of all of that stuff. Still, single season records both. I will say that the filling in of the Hall of Fame plaque is a little bit like Mad Libs. So you don't have a lot of options as far as the wordings you can use, really, which is a big mistake on their part. But don't worry, I waited till there weren't any kids around me before I did my nickname, which is a true nickname. I've been called that my whole life. But is that the most problematic area is the all caps nickname part. And that's where someone could really go R-rated. But then when they have the Mad Lib stuff down there, you only have so many verbs you can choose from. But you can write whatever you want, nickname-wise.
Okay, this makes more sense because, yeah, in your description of you, I was like, this feels tame. So,
Yeah, oh yeah. I was hoping I could just type in whatever I wanted. Now they gave you options. So, yeah.
yeah. Speaking of uniforms,
Nice.
since we last, thank you, since we last all met together. Hi, everyone. There has been an assassination attempt on former President Trump. And who would we be if we did not at least mention it? And who would we be if we actually went into detail about it? Because, we're lazy. But something I have to talk about is now all of Trump's supporters at the RNC wearing the ear bandage. Now, when I first saw
Hilarious.
a tweet about this or a headline about this, I thought for sure it was a joke. Like it was an Onion article or someone photoshopped. You know what? They didn't. This is in fact real, or I've seen now multiple sources reporting on it. So, law of averages, it's real. Uh, I it I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless. Please, I why? What, Bill? What
It's
is
solidarity, man.
is that it?
I mean, look, I don't know. I'm sure fans of Lisa Left Eye Lopez during TLC's Heights came in with a condom on their eye, or maybe some makeup, or I don't know why you're giggling, because it was solidarity with her making people aware of same sex, I guess. I don't know.
But like, if he lost a leg, would they
Yeah, I don't know.
just come in on one? I'm like the closest thing I could think to something similar is when someone loses their hair to cancer and a
Oh,
friend family
yes.
member will also shave their head.
Yes, good point. That
However, I don't think we should compare losing the tip of an ear to cancer riddling a body. It's not the same.
you know what? This is the new us. And there's a lot of things that are just normal now that weren't even a couple of weeks ago. The over the top gold plated veneer that is Donald Trump has really become normal. I will give him credit for taking back the night, and that would be the many clips that would show his form of dancing, where he's kind of doing this. And
Yeah.
he has embraced that, wherein his critics, like say a Bill Maher, would implant dicks. So it's like he's jerking off two dicks while he's doing the dance. But he not only is doing it to YMCA, every single night at the RNC, he's got the dance and doing that. But I mean, okay, so he's doing the dance. He knows what people are doing with the dicks and everything. And then he has YMCA going on at the sun, which is about men enjoying each other men in a YMCA shower. Like he's really just, he's taking back the night. He's full on embracing it. The crowd loves it. They're doing the same dance with the ear stuff on sometimes. Also, have you noticed the baby Trumps? There's baby and kid Trumps everywhere with wigs, the red ties, the whole bit. Yeah. It's all
Uh,
performance right now.
well, that always makes me think. I don't know. Five Fan has done such a great job in like turning me into characters and such.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't know that I've ever seen a caricature of myself that I'm like, that looks like me. And I think that would be a problem. That's really the only reason why I can't run for president is I don't know how, like, what would the me costume be or what would the me caricature be? I already know you're going to say it's the big eyes, but
It's the
like,
giant eyes.
apart from that, I don't know that there's anything about me that really stands out, you know?
Here's what I do know. If there was indeed a President Joanne, no middle name given at birth, Goodhart, there would be no more crime. That's what you should run on. For all the true crime that you've ingested in your life, there will be no more crime when you are president.
But here's the issue, Bill. I need a little crime. I need a little I need some crime so I can do some sleuthing. And I need some crime.
That's true. That is true.
Like part of the joy about the true crime is the solution, is the answers to the questions. So if there are no questions, how am I going to spend my time? Penny slots. But other
Oh
than
yeah.
that,
I just like picturing you doing your sleuthing with the little Sherlock Holmes hat on.
no, but here the real issue is I don't do the sleuthing again because bare minimum, I
Hmm.
let other people do it, and then I read their reports.
That's why you gotta have a good cabinet of like-minded true crime fans. They don't need any experience in anything else. Just get them in some sort of, very much tight auditorium where people go to true crime events, and there you go. All of our problems are solved.
Oh man.
Hear your
Yeah.
wheels spinning.
If if you had an ideal presidential candidate, what would his or her hobby be? Like one that wouldn't be a red flag. Like if there was a president who loved true crime, that I might question. But is there one that's decent?
Oh, well, I think I just see this. You seem to just roll your eyes at all hobbies because you think you're better than everyone. Um, First of all, yeah, you were right the first time. It would be a he. No way. Not my America. No way. It's like a woman doctor. No thanks. But I would think that anything that would both enhance and make the president a better person because he enjoys the hobby, but it would also benefit our country. Again, I'm not against this whole no crime thing. I feel it would be, and apparently you are. But if he had some sort of hobby that would also help him at work, then that's great. That's kind of the best kind of hobby, I suppose.
Yeah, like I'm just thinking in terms of sports. Do you think it's better for a leader to like a team sport or a solo sport?
Good question. Well, Teddy Roosevelt was a boxer, and that's solo, and he was a very good president. Gerald Ford was famously almost drafted by the Packers. That is team. And while in hindsight, a lot of people think that Ford did the right thing by pardoning Nixon to quickly get rid of our long national nightmare, not a popular president. So if we were going to go by that, you would say that something along the lines of the sweet science of this boxing that might be the preferable sport. Maybe you got to go into things singularly if you're a president. Just have to think about the rest of the country's needs. I don't know. But yeah, Ford was a football player.
Boxing does feel aggressive though. Although maybe that's what you want.
You
I
do
don't
like
know.
men who show their vulnerable side. um,
Sure.
but yeah, that's the examples I can think of right now. I'm trying to think if there was ever. I mean, Ford was definitely. I think he was our biggest job, but Roosevelt was up there. But yeah, so there's your two options.
Well, yeah, and then I'm just trying to think about the hobbies of other presidents. I mean, Bill Clinton with his saxophone. That is a sexy instrument, so we should have known.
Yeah, yeah, and
You know?
also very much a product of its time. Matt had a great playlist as we were driving our way up here. But boy, you could put the song within its timeline depending on how many sax solos there were in it. Because in the early '90s and the '80s, you could not have a top 10 hit without a sweet, sexy sax solo that goes
That's so true.
on for miles. And you can picture the sunglasses kind of at the tip of the nose while the person's just really, really giving it the business with that sax. And yeah, and then hence Clinton.
I have a very special surprise for everyone. Guess what hobby I've started again?
Oh my God. I have a feeling it involves music. And oh, there she is. All right.
So
What
now,
have you learned?
here's the issue. My fingers are tiny, and it's hard for me to get them where they need to go. So like this is a G, okay? And this is a C, just one little string there. But when you have to, and they're the two chords that are in the most songs. But when I have to go from C to G, it takes some time. And I can't just it's hard to just like, put all three fingers down at once. Apparently, some people do. But my favorite chords, Bill, as you could probably guess, are the ones like C, where it's one finger, or A, where it's one finger. This might be A minor. Any of those where it's just real simple.
Right.
But yeah, the G is in like everything, and it's just a little difficult for me. Also, any chords where you have to like, there's somewhere you put a finger down and it presses on all four strings. How? How? I don't, it's so hard. Or you do three and then like one goes right there. And it's hard. So what I do is I tend to pick songs that don't have those difficult chords in them.
That is so on brand for you.
Yeah.
And also watching you navigate the difficult business of learning how to play a ukulele must be what it's like to watch you try to solve a true crime. Weighing options, thinking about what the easiest route to
I like
solving
to
the
think
thing
I have
is. And
a little more finesse when solving the true crimes.
you can like to think all you want, but I'm telling you how it is. Well, all right. Now, it's one thing to put up the instrument and say you're doing all these things. Do you actually have a new song that would prove
Not memorize.
and pause
I
time
need I need to like be able to read the chords and see. So it's really a hindrance. It's supposed to help you, but there's these websites that have the tabs, like it'll show you the chords and the finger placement. And as you scroll down, so does the finger placement. So I don't really need to memorize anything. I just follow along with the diagrams,
Okay.
which is really cheating. But I'm doing this for fun. I'm not trying to be a world-class ukulelist, okay? I am just trying to pass the time with a hobby that is not murder related.
I'm fully supportive of this. If anything, for my personal safety, but also it's a great summer instrument. Anytime I hear the
Mhm.
ukulele, I think of summer. So this
Yeah.
is appropriate.
Yeah.
I have to ship it away during winter, but I like it before all of this.
Yeah.
It's supportive.
It's you're being supportive, is that what you said?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, as supportive as I am of you doing this, I don't know why you're rolling your eyes at my plan to get Harold Bates to sign my 1985 Paps card.
Wait, is that laminated?
Well, yeah, it's worth. I'm sure it's going to be worth something once I get it signed, but I'll just take it
But
out.
oh, I see. You take it
Yeah,
out of the lamination.
yeah. Don't condescend
Interesting.
me. I
But
can.
you would never sell that. So why do you care about the value?
I want it to look good.
Of course. Of
Harold
course.
deserves the best. I brought that specifically because Matt Walsh always makes fun of Harold Bates because he doesn't think he should be in the. So mostly it was just a piss.
Oh, okay.
I put it in front of him while he was driving the entire time. Just Harold looking at him.
Well, I guess sort of bringing it back to people wearing the ear bandage, it would be like, yeah, you wearing the jersey of the player you like,
Yeah,
kind of.
just actually, you're not wrong. That's pretty much in the same ballpark. But yeah, it's it's almost exactly like that. But between the baby trunks, the Vincent Van Gogh esque ear things, like yeah, it's just a bold new political world.
Wow, I can't wait for more.
Well,
Not
I'm sorry, go
not
ahead.
crime, but costumes.
Well, I will give everyone your best, even though you technically did not tell me to do so. They're all out and about right now. But as usual, you have once again tried to, and perhaps successfully outdone me activities wise.
Here is the more you Joe. All right, so I guess, was it last week? I guess I haven't shared this. I had been at the beach and everyone had to get out of the water. This was in the Rockaways
Crazy.
because of a shark sighting. We've discussed it in another episode. I was like, what are these drones that are flying overhead? Is it a creep? Whatever. It is, in fact, drones searching for sharks. And they found one not too far away from the shore. So they made everyone get out of the water. Douglas was very upset because he practically lives in the water. As we were leaving, which was about 45 minutes of no water time, they allowed everyone to go back in. So we narrowly missed a shark attack. But as we know, or as Bill claims to know, you are more likely to be killed by a vending machine than a shark, which I didn't understand. So Five Fan decided to make a delightful graphic to help me understand. And now I do. Yes. Yes, this death seems more likely than a shark attack. So thank you for that.
Well, it just
Also,
seems, yeah.
I am going to be seeing Jaws tonight in a park by me,
I'm so
which is so
jealous.
cool. All around New York City in different parks, they like just play different movies, but tonight's is Jaws. So I think that will be really fun. I'm already trying to think about what drinks and snacks I want to bring because I'm a lady
Of
baby.
Hey, an idea. Bloody Mary.
Wow.
Mhm.
Bloody Mayor. What's the mayor's name?
Oh, Mayor Vaughn.
Bloody Mayor Vaughn. There you go.
Not bad. Not bad. I'll give it to you.
Except I hate Bloody Mary, so it's not going to be that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Bill, do you have any other plugs?
Yes, Narragansett beer. That is the one that you and I famously did the scene of Quint crushing the can with Hooper.
Mm-hmm.
Get Narragansett beer. That's good. That's a good Jaws thing to drink. That's my plug.
It's a light lager.
Yes.
Narragansett, please sponsor us.
Yes.
Okay. Bye everyone. Have a good weekend.